Welcome to another academic day at IndyFit Crew. Today we are talking about something called EPOC and why it matters in your workouts and how it might affect the intensity you go about your workouts through the rest of this quarter and as you go into the rest of your life. So EPOC stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. In normal human terms, you could say extra post-workout energy use. What EPOC measures is how long does it take your body to get down to its normal calorie burning rate after you complete a workout. Before I dive in too far, credit goes to Emily Sopo, who's a certified personal trainer and was a guest author for a website called Ace Fitness and talked about EPOC. And the one of the examples she put on there was if you had a personal trainer who was helping you through things and said something to the effect of, this workout is going to leave you burning more calories for the whole rest of the day. It is in fact true, and we're going to talk more about it today. So EPOC, which is also known as afterburn, is a result of high intensity exercise. So if we're using some of our measures on effort we've talked about already, that is using your red and orange zones. If you're using a heart rate monitor where you can actually track your heart rate, or for your RPE, getting up into a 7, 8, 9, 10, same thing, into those orange and red zones, or your talk test, getting up to where you really can't say more than a couple of words at a time. And when you get up there, that is a part of what increases the EPOC, or your time to get back to your regular energy consumption. The exercises that tend to have a higher level of EPOC are interval training, or you may see like HIIT if you look for workouts online, HIIT. High intensity interval training is a great way to get it up there. Doing tempo training, where you're controlling the speed of the exercise and the speed of the recovery, doing circuit training like we've done already before, and doing some heavy lifting. And we won't get into a lot of heavy lifting, but we are going to talk as we go through the quarter about ways to find some extra resistance for your resistance training at home, some ways to do some lifting that creates a heavier burn for you. And if we work out at a high level consistently, it will help with calorie burning over time. So your metabolism, your body will just burn more calories all the time as you go through life. So what exactly is EPOC? EPOC has to do with how much oxygen and other resources does your body burn after a workout. After you finish a workout, your body will often burn more oxygen than before and will burn more calories than before. Why does that happen? Well, the reason that the EPOC effect happens is because your body is trying to get back to normal. So after you do a workout where you've put some micro tears in your muscles because you pushed yourself on your resistance training, you've worked out hard enough that you've burned off a lot of the oxygen in your blood during the process of creating energy, and you've used a lot of the blood sugar that you had in there and the food that you ate, your body's trying to get back to normal. So it's trying to bring the temperature inside back down to 98.6. It's trying to reload your muscle sugars and energy stores. It's trying to reoxygenate your blood because you'll pull some out when you work out hard, and then get your breathing and your blood and your heart rate back to a normal rate. So how long does it last? A lot of studies say that generally within 24 hours, you'll be back to normal. And there's debate about that. Some studies say it might happen as quick as 15 minutes or take as long as 48 hours. What affects that the most is the intensity that you work out at. If you work out harder, it tends to take longer to get back down there. So, for example, here, if we just go for a classic cardio, I'm going to go out for a 1 hour slow jog. I'm just cruising around the neighborhood. then as I'm going through that workout, I'm getting less elevation in my metabolic rate where I'm working out. And so because this isn't getting up real high, the EPOC curve is pretty short to get back to homeostasis or get back to normal. And this is those three zones, kind of your blue, your gray, maybe cruising in your green, especially if you're someone who's already in pretty good shape. Cruising in your green will often result in a pretty short recovery. However, if you're someone, if you push out in a higher intensity exercise, you're really getting after it in your red, or you're doing some intervals where you're staying in your red and your orange a lot, you can do a workout that's way shorter, like even 12 minutes, and look at how long the EPOC curve or the EPOC curve goes. It all of a sudden, now my body is burning way more calories for a much longer extended period of time. So the intensity of your workout has a lot more to do with how long the EPOC recovery takes than the length of the workout you did. So how is EPOC affected by our exercise? Like we talked about, if you go higher intensity and or longer duration that keeps your heart rate up and fatigues your muscles, will get a greater EPOC response. So basically, the farther away you get from homeostasis, the more uncomfortable you make yourself, the greater the EPOC effect afterward will be. So how do you know if you're working out at an intense enough level? Well, we talked about our three measures that you can use to get there. The first is your RPE. Are you up at a 7, 8, 9, 10? Are you up at a level where it's uncomfortable? Like you know you're working hard. And that might look different for different people in our class, but at the end of the day, if you're going hard enough to get into your orange and red zone, are you pushing yourself hard enough to get up there? If you are, that's going to increase the EPOC response. Okay, or that talk test method. One, really, you can't even say a half or a short sentence to someone else because you're working that hard. And if you're on your heart rate monitor, it's easy to tell. You can do the math and figure out, am I in my orange or in my red? And like we talked about, the types of workouts that will lengthen your EPOC: interval training, tempo training, where you're working at a fast speed for a time interval. So like jumping jacks, which aren't something that is a big muscle demand, but is more about getting a tempo to it that gets your heart rate up. Or circuit training, where you're doing things like burpees or some other high intensity exercises in a quick fashion. So just quick review. So the result of your high intensity exercise using measuring with your zones or your RPE or your talk test, that result will have an effect on your EPOC. And the exercises that have higher EPOC results, like we talked about, are interval training, tempo training, circuit training, and heavy resistance stuff where your muscles are really getting a burn. And if we work out at a higher level like that consistently, over time our metabolism changes and our body will go through more calories. Even on days that we don't do that intense workout, our body will be consistently going through more calories. Our body will even be consistently going through more calories while we sleep. So when you are getting through your workouts, it's important for you to think about, what am I going to do to make this harder? If you're someone that's already in pretty good shape, you can change, like we've talked about in videos before, you can change the tempo, you can change the amount of resistance, you can modify a lot of the exercises. Sometimes you need to modify them to do them because they're a little bit more easy, but you can also have modifications for making it more challenging, where you can make it more difficult because you're going faster or you're adding resistance. So today, there's going to be an exit ticket that has to do with a reflection on the EPOC and the stuff we've covered in the video today. Make sure you get that done. We'll revisit that again tomorrow as we get into another workout day tomorrow. So have a terrific day today, and I will talk to you again very soon.